more crowd control, right? So if they want to force a fight, they definitely can. But it's Alice, though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because here's my thing. I feel like she doesn't deal enough damage, and she's not tanky enough.
Yeah.
I want to be proven wrong. I want to see when will this Alice be strong. After the first item with no items, what's going on?
You know what? I like that. Let's see what happens. Mirko, Trex, it's your time to shine.
MENA on match point right now, on final life. They got to get a game here, and let me say, once again, the picks have not disappointed. Ramichi with the jungle Alice. Last time we saw the jungle Benedetta, and it performed, catching Falcon's MENA off guard. Do we think ZENO Lilies is going to do the same thing here?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how the Alice is going to play out. Last time I saw an Alice, it was always paired up with an Angela. You always need some more sustain on top of the sustain that you already have. But technically, if you get a snowball in the early game, that definitely does put you in a better spot, right? So I think for them, definitely, they are going to be looking for that early game snowball. And Chiploe fits the description really, really well to actually get the Alice into a spot where she's very, very comfortable. But the thing is, it's going to be really tough if Yui continues to use these laser beams. Shiromi already taken very low, forced to run back. And Sa can't even get a single skill landed on Yui.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, ZENO Lilies has some potential here.
Look at that.
In the early game, but I think their real moment to shine is once those lords start coming around, right? Once they can really capitalize on the chip, using those portals around the map and everything, getting vision in multiple spots, they can send chip to the long lane, to the off lane, and just kind of hang out, make sure things are controlled, and he pops up any minute he wants. Also, giving them vision throughout the whole map as long as he's checking those portals periodically. So it's definitely an interesting composition from the side of ZENO Lilies. And also, I can already see the possible, you know, teleport with a diversion, Alice right behind you, blood flow in, get the eye. I mean, lots of possibilities. Team Falcon's MENA, though, trying to take it aggressive early on, which I think is the right route.
Great maneuver from Saab, getting the diversion up top and then bursting names down. Again, this matchup, Harith versus Claude, it's very one-sided. It should be very one-sided. It should be the Harith win in the lane, but the fact that Taro was able to outplay also the Flicker, by the way. Shout out to Wolf King onto Velvet, making her take 2 turret shots, and Kao will still be able to take level 4 now as Shiromi zones Febin away. Ramichi gets the turtle for free. No retribution now, maneuvering into the enemy purple buff. Yui rotating as well, likely to be caught in the blood as well, and the blood. Ramichi able to dislocate him, but now the shortcut comes down. They're all going to be trapped in towards him in his fury. But Taro, with a blazing duet, wipes them up together with Ramichi, who's still able to survive. But Yui, again, is able to get some of these trades down with the little descents.
It looked great for ZENO Lilies, but then it quickly turned around. 4 members down. Team Falcon's MENA now looking sound. They're able to kind of, I mean, let's look at the replay real quick, right? Electa gets taken out. It looks like Ramichi has this, but Fevin with a beautiful Minoan's Fury. Taro shows up in the nick of time just to kind of save the day here and make sure it's not too much destruction for them. It could have easily been a 4-for-1 or 4-for-2 trade. Taro's able to kind of even the playing field, but MENA definitely wins out on that trade there. Here comes a diversion, though, already early on in the game.
Spots pepping up out in that bush. Taro will continue to push here on the Claude. Having a bit of a lead here on names. Able to use the BMI to get a few good shots onto the turret. And you can see this is what you do on the Alice. This is good and bad in a way. Shiromi can be poked out. Even the red tree committed with the fracture too. Electa really, really disliking the fact that Shiromi was roaming around in her jungle. But yeah, back again to the point. Alice. You want the Alice to clear out a whole lot of the waves, and sometimes in your team, especially if you have someone like a Loyi, it'll be kind of tough because Loyi does need a few of those resources in the early game at least to get into the mid game. But now that it's all given to Ramichi, they're really going to have to rely on her to carry the game as we get into the mid stage.
Ramichi just locks in Clock of Destiny. We see the Corrosion Scythe coming in onto Taro. So a little bit of something to get things started. We're 4 minutes in. Second turtle going to be coming up, and the way that Team Falcon's MENA now maybe have a little bit of confidence, this could be the time that they actually want to contest a turtle here. It is only a 800, 600 gold lead for the side of ZENO Lilies, and having something like this Minotaur gives them some opportunity to make a play happen. Electa has showed She's got some moves on this, but wait a second, up in the mid side.
Yeah, crash course, flicker forward with the final slash, 2 and a flicker 2. That's a 3-man knockup straight into Electa, picking up the retribution, but now gets caught in the yin-yang reaction. Sa able to bring them back now into the blazing duet. Velvet gets the vengeance, gets a reset, but now Ramichi with the flowing blood, and he gets the outplay. That's a double kill for Ramichi.
Ramichi is disgusting right now. It's 4-1 and 2. And you know, we talk about sometimes teams playing inside of a box. Right now, they are playing inside of the circle. You got the duality procced, right? You match that up with Ramichi getting the Blood Ode. I mean, it's just a lot. And then Shiromi at any point can bring Taro into the fight. At any point can bring KO into the fight. Team Falcon's MENA gotta find a way to kind of play around this because they have the perfect answer to Electa, who wants to dive in. Ramichi risks it there, takes the chase down, and KO's happy about it. I love the reactions from everybody. A good, secured lead for the side of ZENO Lilies.
For sure. I mean, those reactions, I thought the reactions would be a bit louder too, right? Because that was certainly an interesting outplayed names. Able to dash out of that one. Good diversion. Now Shiromi, this is part 2 of the rotation. Minions Fury able to catch 2, but no follow-up. She actually decides to go in, gets caught in the shortcut now, and caught in the blood as they gun down Names up top. Ramichi with a dive, Names with the Zaman Force flickering out to safety now. Flowing blood, not going to be connected. Shiromi now looking for the crash course, will be isolated. Dominator's descent from Yui to pick herself up a killing spree as Electa goes and split pushes in the mid lane. Will be able to take the structure down.
Okay, so Team Falcon's MENA actually, I feel like, get the win out of that trade. It becomes a 1-for-1 plus a tower over to the side of MENA there. I love the Fevin thought about it, decides to go for the re-engage, but Names was not on board with it. And I'm just, you know, just some of those moments right there. I think if Team Falcon's MENA can get a little bit more on board together, because sometimes it feels like they're going opposite directions. One of them wants to fight, one of them wants to back off. So I think if they can get those exact decisions, we could definitely see them pull this game off. They now have a lead. They're about 300 gold ahead, and we're on to this third turtle.
Shiromi with the crash course. Not gonna crash onto Velvet just yet. Flowing blood, trying to reveal them. Diversion does. Electa, Fevin and Yui in the bush right now as they go in. That's a flicker forward. Minions Fury not connected to Jedi offended. Connecting straight into the flowing blood. And now with the retribution, Ramichi, no mana left. Doesn't have enough to go for the blood. Oh, but they have already secured a neutral objective and 2 kills and another structure down below.
And that's exactly what I mean by the circle. ZENO Lilies wants Team Falcons all to just come in, and they're okay with taking a Minoan's Fury to the face as long as they can get that big I'm offended off, get the duality proc, get anything to bring them as close to Ramichi as possible. The damage just starts stacking, and we haven't seen. Oh,
I'm offended, bringing her back straight into the flowing blood. Now chasing under the turret. Names still able to get the shielding now. Gets knocked up. Ramichi caught in the fracture, takes all the punishment, gets out with the flowing blood. Names is still somehow able to survive. Some rotations now from Velvet, rotating in with the final slash again. Should be able to bring Shiromi back, but she is able to flicker out and conceal out of the way as Taro continues this solo mission down below.
I like the conceal just for good measure, and I think it could have been a good call for sure because they definitely might have chased them down. But the back and forth, both teams, Names showing some great mechanical prowess, kind of dashing through tower, able to dodge out, and even Ramichi waiting for the right moment to get that blood flow to be able to flicker away and get out of that bad position. But now Electa looking for a play on Taro.
The blazing duet, now Blood trying to catch her, but Electa will be taken out by the crash course. Shiromi was there to catch her. And now they're gonna go for the siege on the tier 2 down below. Fevin in the bush. Shiromi's trying to read it out. Will be able to do so. Spots her out in the bush, forces her back. As Cow continues this push up top as well. But now that you mention it, Trex, ZENO Lilies, they are a team of circles. Literally all their skills are circles too.
Yeah,
blazing duet.
Exactly.
Flowing blood, blood ode.
The second skill from
Wow.
I'm having a mind blank.
Me too. Now I'm just like, wow. That's impressive.
Let's bring him into the circle, baby.
They love circles. I love circles.
Their logo almost looks like a circle.
Yeah.
I mean, if you curved out the edges, the corners, you know?
That's like that's a hexagon, right?
And since Fevin's ult, the Minoan's Fury, is a circle, could we say it's working with ZENO Lilies?
Oh, I think it has been working really good for Team Falcons. The Velvet. She's hovering over right now. Shiromi's in that bush. That's a scary bush for Team Falcon's MENA. If they don't know the chip was there, but Shiromi decides to rotate back, and they're just going to play with the Lord Dance. Remember, the Lord acts a bit different. Diversion up top. No one's going to take it. Fevin reads it out really well. Shiromi zoning the front now, trying to bait out some of these abilities. They'll be able to do so. But just onto the Crabs. I don't know about this Lord Dance, man. It's going to be really tough. Oh, final flash into the stun now. Laser Duet was canceled. Now Taro going to be taken down. But Fury knocking Cow up. And now it's ZENO Lilies who lose it out. Ramichi, though, still in the midst of it all earlier. Able to get the flowing blood to disengage. And now we see the power of the Lord. That's why you don't Lord Dance.
That's very true. That's exactly why you don't Lord Dance. But I really want to point out Electa here, because Electa was able to maneuver, dance through that fight a little bit. And even with Ramichi, I mean, amazing positioning, getting to the backside, hitting the Blood Ode, and just kind of sitting there waiting for the Lord to come down at the same time. Doesn't have to click a lot of buttons. Electa, on the other hand, is moving, still gets the retry off in time. So very well done from the side of Team Falcon's MENA. Let's take a look at some of the in-game equipment, at some of these items right now. Someone that I do see falling behind here is Yui on the Zax. Just got the Crystalline, got the Glowing Wand in, but I think needs a little bit more in terms of gold lane, though. Names definitely has a little bit of lead. We're talking about 700 gold, has got the Blood Feathers in, third item, working on the fourth. I mean, definitely going to be a huge member. We didn't get to see Names pop off last game, and even in some of the previous games, but this might finally be the time for Names to shine.
And that's interesting, considering the fact that Taro has been the one alone in these lanes just farming up a storm, right? But still, for Taro, she isn't able to replicate what Rian did on the Claude. 9 minutes, 3 items. She's still on the way to that third item now in the 11th minute still. So this is the normal timing, by the way, to get the 3 items. That's why I was pretty shocked. I was like, whoa, 9 minutes. Is that like goal stamp, or is that, you know, did they go for a different path? But this time, she will be able to secure it. I don't know if she wants to go for Windtalker this time around, knowing that there are a few tanky members there. She might need the Malefic Roar, or at this point, she might need a defensive item, right? She might go for the Rose Gold Meteor even.
Yeah, and what do we think about Ramichi here? We got Clock of Destiny, and we have Dominance Ice, we have Oracle, getting tankier, getting more sustainable, and that's only going to become more and more of a problem as this game moves forward. So I think Team Falcon's MENA kind of got to find an answer to that at some point. They don't have a Shredder exactly. They don't have a Claude, right? They have this Harith who, yes, can burst and may be able to help, but Ramichi is just going to get tougher and tougher to kill, and with the possibilities of Taro being able to get free shots off because of that, it could be ZENO Lily's answer. Even though they're starting to fall behind a little bit, they still have some, you know, they got some options in the trunk ready to fire back on.
We'll see how they utilize this 1,000 gold lead, because technically, yeah, it is still Team Falcon's MENA who are holding on to it despite the early aggression, and the early stage of the game is really being held down by ZENO Lilies. Scaling-wise, Taro's going to scale up really well. Ramichi's going to scale up really well. I don't know about Sa, though, on the low E, right? You do see a bit of a fall-off when it comes to that burst damage. You aren't able to really 100-0 burst people down in the later stage of the game, especially if Velvet, Fevin, and even technically Names now. She already has the Bloodwing, so she'll be able to take a lot of that punishment that she wasn't able to take before. Enhanced Lord spawning in the Land of Dawn 12 minutes in. This is the good thing, I guess, for this composition. With the low E, with the chip, you can always just play in the side lanes because you have that global presence. But still, that control is going to be really tough. And maybe that's why we're seeing a bit of a fall-off when it comes to the low E's and the chips here. Because Lord Dances aren't as effective anymore.
It's true. I mean, and you can't buy as much time as you used to be able to, which means if Lord Dances aren't as effective, controlling the off lane isn't as, I mean, it's still important. Don't get me wrong, macro is peak, but it's not as crucial, right? You can get away with rushing a Lord and not have to worry about the wave for a second. So let's see exactly how they play this out. They are going for the classic lineup of, you know, holding the chip on the long lane, letting him sit by this portal, so at any moment he can come up on this top side or come up on the bottom top side. So Team Falcon's MENA going to start it off, Lord down about 40%.
Ramichi, flowing blood. Gonna go in, Velvet unable to catch him with a vengeance now. Able to use the final slash, Venus Fury knocking him up as well in the midst of the Lord. Electra finds the retribution, blazing it from Taro, but it's not gonna be enough to take anyone down, but it's Ramichi who cleans them up in the team fight. Now moving forward, Yui.
Playing. And that's where we're seeing the macro work out for ZENO Lilies in some of these fights. I think the real thing they're going to be able to do is deal with Electa, because Electa has been amazing at securing these lords right now, has been able to dance around and just pull some amazing things off, even while Ramichi is coming in. Electa did just get that rose gold in, so it's going to be able to help her out even more in terms of sustainability, help her dance around some of these fights a little bit longer than usual. ZENO Lilies, I think the only way they're really going to be able to clear this game out, get a full 5-man wipe, or get a lord. So they gotta, I think, take Electa out before a lord comes, and this might be it.
Diversion, Electa gonna be caught! My goodness! An amazing catch with the diversion. The value of the Loyi.
Whoops. I said catch Electa off, and boom. Electa's gone, and a little bit more of a fight on the bot side now.
It is Fury. It's a good retaliation. Now to knock up 2. Straight into the damage coming in from Names, but it's not going to be enough just yet. Yui, but the Dominator's Descent just gets melted down. Fevin tries to run away, but the Flowing Blood together with the Yin-Yang reaction will catch her. Ramichi's chasing Velvet down. Velvet does have the flicker. Hiromi, crash course, immobility as well. Diversion coming down too. Velvet still able to flicker out to safety, but the Flowing Blood catches her once more. It's a slow death, a painful one. 4-for-0 trade on the board. And ZENO, technically, they can't even get any objectives. That was just a brawl.
No, they haven't been able to get any objectives since before the last Lord, and they had to really output a lot of effort for that one, sending 4 members up to the top just to secure that tier 2. It's becoming tougher and tougher for Team Falcons. They had some opportunity, I think, in the early game having this Nolan, but the farther this goes on, the harder it's going to get. Fevin is doing everything Fevin can, landing big Minoan's Furies with 3-4 members, right? But it's just not enough because nobody's really able to, capitalize and output the damage that they need to take out a few members of ZENO Lilies.
Oh, you can see the frustration build up as well, though, from Team Falcons MENA. This is one of the concerns that we have, honestly, every single day when these teams have to go back-to-back, especially after a loss, right? How's that going to affect them? Going back-to-back, technically even in match number 1, losing 2-0. Seems like it is getting to them, but still, they're playing it really, really well, Team Falcons MENA. They were able to equalize once in this game. They're looking for that again. Flowing Blood. Ramichi doesn't go for it. She has the winner crown, so she technically can go for these big initiations alone.
Yeah, I think Falcon's been a big play here as Electa has to pull off another great Lord take, right? It's the only way they're going to survive this out. The play into the backside, though.
Yui, Dominator's Ascent going into a winner crown, going to be used up. Dominator's Ascent now defensively in the midst of it. Oh, Yui going to be caught in Taro's blazing duet. Hiromi gets the crash course. Names gets caught by the I'm offended, and there's no Purify. Another Flowing Blood and a Retribution from Ramichi to try to catch up to Electa. But Electa does the same thing. She has the same Retri. That's a slow one.
ZENO Lilies catches him off guard, and Team Falcons MENA once again. Fevin tries to get the Minoan's Fury off, tries to fight back. But Taro, the blazing duet, just too much. Ramichi, the Blood Ode, just too much. The circles are too much.
ZENO Lilies, ZENO Circles. As of this game, right? 18 minutes in. And now the winner crown too from Taro. So I think that was what she was able to utilize in the team fight, right? She used the Blazing Duet. She knows that her Blazing Duet has been canceled many times before in these team fights. So she decides, hey, winner crown. I can use the Blazing Duet, I can winner crown, and I can still get that damage out. It's the same for Ramichi. It's the winner crown, fools.
It's a winner crown, fool. And there's a couple of them there, right? Ramichi's got that thing. Ramichi's going to be able to... Now it's literally almost impossible to kill Ramichi at this point, because what you can do is you win a crown, you have enough time to maybe wait for your blood flow skill to come back, and then you flicker away to safety. And Falcons MENA doesn't really have a way to catch it. They don't have any real big backline dive in terms of that, unless Electa gets a really big flank, but... It's going to be hard. Lord now coming in. Can they finish this here?
Oh. Now I'm offended. Electa, final flash flicker combo from Velvet, trying to save Electa, and she does so. But Velvet's going to be caught, buys the immortality. It's Electa who buys the immortality. Velvet's going to lose the immortality. Now she is able to survive just for a bit. Taro continues with the battle mirror image as well. And we'll be able to find the kill. Winner crown as well to try to bait out some of these abilities. Electa losing immortality. Fevin as well. Now it's going to be Taro trying to go for the kite, but the turret takes her out. Another winner crown. Bot Fevin is low. Pops into winner crown. Double kill up top for Sa. But game number 1 will be taken by ZENO Lilies.
ZENO Lilies. Once again, we see a team bring something spicy.